Hello everyone, it's Ashwin Rao, and this video is featuring a pair of boots that I acquired on the used market because of a curiosity sparked by the indomitable Ben Robinson from StitchDown.com. I've already reached out to Ben to express my sentiments about how amazing his most recent podcast featuring Japanese boot making and shoemaking was, and it really kickstarted my attention and interest in an area that was growing in interest within me in terms of Japanese craftsmanship. This particular model is of no exception. This is actually one of the more approachable and readily available models and manufacturers from Japan, and this is Rolling Dub Trio. And this is their side Gore or Chelsea boot known as the Stan. Rolling Dub Trio is a really fascinating boot brand. I think they're probably prevalent enough to garner a similar level of attention in Japan as, say, Alden. But they're actually a small production team that is made up of a number of different artisans who produce shoes, boots, and actually sandals via the Boots Factory. I long have had some interest in Rolling Dub Trio because they use really cool and unique rugged style lasts, and yet bring some of those lasts into styles that were more typically reserved for dressed up footwear. So a Chelsea boot, in my mind, is typically more of a semi-formal or formal option for a classic menswear attire, and yet you see a Chelsea boot here with more of a sprung toe, a more upturned nose, and some more rugged features such as this last that is essentially a very rounded, somewhat symmetric last. So not what you would expect from a traditional Chelsea, and for many, they struggle with the confluence of that rugged style and a more dressed up aesthetic. This is also a shorter Chelsea. This is about the height of most chukka boots, even though it has that more upturned its collar. But yet, I think the details come together really nicely in a Goodyear welted shoe that should really last forever. So Rolling Dub Trio has historically designed models that are inspired by more vintage styles. And we're going to dive further into this particular model. Sometimes they will use a Goodyear flat welt, which is what you see here. They will also use machine done stitch down constructions, and they are fully recraftable, resolable. They also have some really neat features, including this cork sole that's somewhat reminiscent of what Alden does. They also have this black rubber front piece that I've seen on a number of shoes. The previous owner of the shoe removed that. And then what also is interesting is they use toe caps, metal toe plates, to protect the front of their shoe from heel drag. And those toe plates, you may not be able to see it very easily, are actually branded by Rolling Dub Trio as their own. A more traditional, historically relevant cat's paw heel. This is one that I'll probably have to replace soon because it's getting a fair bit of wear on it. It's a very straightforward design. You can see one piece of leather forming the front portion of the shoe. You have these two elastic side Gore panels here that provide elasticity, a split seam down either side of the shoe here and here, and then I believe two extra pieces of leather and this back heel leather counter seam here that all create the construction of this shoe. So this is not like a seamless hole cut. This is made from multiple pieces of leather. It's clean work done for stitching on the outer. This more thick double, maybe even triple. No, this is a double leather insole. So you get into this really rugged vibe out of a more dressed up style. This particular model features Horween's chromexcel model. I saw how nice the leather was breaking on this particular pair. You can see that it's forming micro creases rather than the more macroscopic creases that I tend to not like on chromexcel. You can also see similar levels of fine creasing here. So this guy has won the chromexcel lottery, which appealed to me because I've seen other models of the Stan and their Casper model, which have more kind of aggressive, kind of looser grained looking creasing, which I don't care for, or asymmetric creasing between boots. And this particular pair, whomever worn this before, however it was broken in before, it broke in really nicely. This is a fairly thick chromexcel leather, and I believe this is a structured heel counter and toe here. I'm not sure what is used to structure, if it's this elastic leather or otherwise, but these are structured both heel and toe stiffeners. We have a full leather kip lining here. You see the Rolling Dub Trio branding here on the label affixing the front tongue of that shoe. If I pull out my off-label shoe tree here with the Rolling Dub Trio branding, I had to add this leather insole because I noticed just a slight bit of sloppiness to my initial wear. I'd have to wear these with very thick socks if I were to wear them without that insole, but I tend to wear medium thickness socks, which then with that little extra leather insole give me nice support and fit. This is built on the CBT02 last, and as I mentioned, has a 360-degree Goodyear welt. Goes all the way around here. Lower stitch density, which is again something that the Japanese heritage bootmaking scene doesn't seem to have as much of an desire for very high stitch density. It's a nice clean amount of work done, reminiscent to current line production of Alden and others. So if you're looking for higher stitch density, you're not going to get it here. But again, it's not necessarily about the details, but how those little details really come together. The work done here is really clean. This has looks like a fabric Rolling Dub Trio label that you can see right here for a pull tab on both shoes. That can be good or bad. These are kind of floppy. I'm not a huge fan of those, but I think that they're fine. Rolling Dub says that if you have lower volume feet or a quite low instep, you may want to take a size and a half down from your Brannock. But if you have D-width or average volume feet, go for a full size down from your Brannock. So, and if you're really wide, have large feet or a really high volume foot, go a half a size down. I would say you're pretty safe going a size down for most people here. So really nice model. You can find all the details regarding Rolling Dub Trio and learn more about Rolling Dub on the Stitch Down website and their podcast on Japanese bootmakers. Rolling Dub Trio. Give these guys a look should you be interested in the entry point for Japanese shoemaking. These run at about $600, although you can find them pretty readily on the used market. And I don't think you're going to be disappointed if you decide to dive in. Hope you're doing well. Take care and goodbye.